Hello, everyone. Welcome to this edition of Talking Times podcast. And today we'll be discussing some of the questions that the young adults are actually asking. And to help us with that, we have two guests in the studio. And I would like you guys to please welcome with me Mr. George and Mr. Sampson. You're welcome, sirs.
Thank you for
Thank you very
having
much.
us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for having me.
Thank you, sir,
It's a
for having
pleasure.
So it's always a
Always
pleasure. I remember the last time you came, it was really hot in here.
Yeah, of course.
And I believe you're ready for us.
By God's grace.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
During the week, I was in a place and the young adults there they were asking series of questions, but there's one that really caught my attention. One of the questions they were asked they asked was how can I find my soulmate? And I was like, that's a good question. So maybe today, we fit talk and more just discuss and more see how it take be.
Yeah, right.
I mean, what do you guys think about it? How can they find their soulmate? I mean, if I am a young adult, for example, how can I find my soulmate? Or how did you meet your wife? Because I understand you're married.
Yes,
So how did you meet your wife? Who's going first?
I think.
Okay, my pleasure. Thank you very much once again for having me. There are many ways to find your soulmate, but the first one that must be the major bone of contention is communication. First, you attract him or her, because if there is no attraction, you cannot just start communicating with somebody without knowing. So there must be attraction. You want to know if whenever you are with him or her, there is happiness. Because for a man, I'm speaking from the perspective of man, I'm not speaking for every man, for myself as a case study, a man must have peace. So if you find a lady that can give you that innermost peace, that can give you that freedom, that whenever you are with her, you are happy. You have, even if you are going through one or two challenges, if you see her through her advices, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and otherwise, you will be able to get yourself. That momentum you see her, it goes a long way. By getting her, you will know she's the one. Because there are many ladies.
Yeah, but there are some other ladies that actually give good advices, but they are actually not for you.
You are right. So as I said before, number one is attraction. Then from that attraction now, you are getting to know her. Maybe you love her now physically. Physically is not enough. Because what A wants may not be what B wants. One man's food is another man's poison. A man can be attracted to Barcelona and Real Madrid, front and back. Another one may be attracted to Arsenal and Juventus. When I mean the term, you understand. Let me not go into some details.
Yeah, I understand.
So it depends on what that man wants. So physical attraction is number one. Then number two, you have to pray hard. Because it depends on your religion. Either you're a Christian, you're a Buddhist, you're a Muslim. Depending on what you believe in. You have to, because you just said it. Some men and women pretend. I will not come here to antagonize any particular gender. Because some people will tell you all women are gold diggers. My brother, is a lie. Some men now are going through gigolo. Some men are also digging now. It is not the 60s or 70s where everything is always curious occasion on women alone. So after getting to know her, when you have that attraction for her, the next thing you start looking for is communication. Because communication goes a long way. For any relationship to stand that will lead to marriage, you must communicate. Because no man or woman is perfect. Anybody that tells you he or she is 100% perfect is a lie. There is always flaws in everybody. But the more you communicate with each other, it goes a long way. The more you no matter how that man or woman pretend, you will know, except you are not intelligent, you are not checking red flags. The more you communicate with him or her, you will know if he or she is for you.
Okay, when you say the more you communicate, does that mean there's a timeline to it? Does that mean there's a timeline line to it?
Exactly, sir. It depends on now. It's not like those days of our grandfathers and our great-grandfathers. Now, as a man, you must work because it has been like a curse to men. A man is always the head, the woman is the neck. The head cannot move without the neck. The neck cannot live without the head. It is two becoming one. I always say this every time. That is why I always tell men and women, in any relationship, it is not the burden of one person alone. If the man is the one doing everything, you are the one trying to encourage that love, you are the one trying to love, and she's not reciprocating, my brother, you are going down.
Well, I would, I like that point, but I wouldn't want us to digress. I think we're
Exactly,
digressing
because
a little
now-
bit. Because I want us to talk about how can
It is part
I
of it,
find
sir.
my soulmate.
Exactly. That's why I'm telling you, I'm going somewhere. I'm going to allow my brother to also talk. Attraction comes first. You can't just say this is your soulmate, then you don't know her. As I said before, a man chooses to marry a beautiful, or it is not mandatory. Everybody have their choices. Some like it slim, some like it big, some like it grown to. So it depends. After getting to know that lady or that man, the next step now is you have to communicate. You can't just know her and then you say you want to marry her. That is where communication comes in. Because through communication, now you start planning. Why many relationships and marriages are not going well is because they did not plan well from the foundation. When you want to know this is my soulmate, planning comes in, and it comes in through communication. You have to plan for the future. How many kids are we going to have? I'm serious for you. I'm not just coming there to eat and run. Because some men and women today now are coming into relationship for entitlement. Let people know this.
Okay, what
It
you're
is not
trying to
every
say-
man and woman that come to you and say, I love you, really loves you. Many women now are fed up. They are frustrated. They are above 35, 40. Menopause is knocking, and their family and relatives are disturbing them. So as soon as they see a nice guy that is hardworking, they discover you have one money, you have car, you are doing well. Ofone, as my people will say it, Otilo, as Yoruba will say it.
Okay.
Ogala, as Igbo will say it. You are
Ogala.
gone. They will give you all attention. In your mind, you think this lady or this man is my own. And then as soon as they get what they want to get, they eat what they want to eat, they move.
And they move. Okay.
They move ahead.
Okay. Mr. George, what's your take on this?
Well, for me, I think the idea, the concept of soulmate, I don't think, or I do not actually believe that soulmates are met. For me, soulmates are built. So it's not something you discover, it's something you construct, right? So when people say, I'm waiting for my soulmate, I think it's a wrong idea, which of course, have led people to waiting for a lifetime, right? You keep waiting, but the truth of the matter is sometimes we confuse, chemistry with soulmate. There is no one perfect person for anybody, right? There are potential partners, right? There are several people who can be potential partners. And so the idea of soulmate is that there's this one perfect person that once you meet that person, you click with the person and then everything is perfect and then everything goes smooth. So that's an idealized version of relationship that does not truly exist. Because in order for you to have a successful relationship or marriage, there needs to be some form of work. So that's why I said soulmate is a construct. So you meet somebody, there needs to be the willingness to be together. There needs to be the willingness to see it work. There needs to be adjustments to be made. It's just like, for instance, let's say, for instance, the mic we are using, right? Let's say this screw holding the iron is a soulmate of this iron. At first, it wasn't like this. It went through some form of transformation, right? They had to, construct it in a way that fits into the whole, you see? So that's how typically relationship would work. You meet somebody, right, who is not necessarily perfect, may not be perfect for you. But the idea is as long as you both want to be together, you could construct what you have into the desired outcome that both of you, wish to achieve. So for me, the idea of soulmate is I just feel it's it's a way of transferring individual responsibilities to divine, because the idea of soulmate also is that it's divine. So which means that's why I think a lot of the relationships do suffer and don't last, because the perception is when things begins to get rough, it's a divine indication that the person is wrong for you.
Exactly.
You see, so it now absolves us of our own responsibility to ensure it works, right? So the thing is, even if God brings in someone and give to you today, the general logic is it is only the things you take care of that would last, right? So soulmates, whoever is waiting for soulmates, you would not find a soulmate. You could meet people that you would connect with instantly. You know, this is also science, right? There are people you meet and then there's this euphoria, there's this instant bonding, there's this connection, but they're all chemistry, right? Those are just feelings.
They're not the right soulmate for
exactly. And those feelings, and one thing with feelings are fleeting. They come, they go.
Sometimes
right?
they're lost.
Yes, exactly. So that's why the real, if we are to say, okay, this person is a soulmate, it's a continuous decision to love the same person.
Like it's intentional. Like
It has to be an intentional effort. So that's how you build a soulmate. So soulmate is not someone you find. Soulmate is a construction of the desired relationship that you both, wish to have. So for me, that's just the idea. So when people say I'm waiting for soulmate, I don't think it's something possible. All relationships need work.
it needs work, like to make it get to the level of being called
Yes.
a soulmate. I see you want to say something before.
Yes. But no, I have to let him finish.
Of course.
He
Of course.
is going somewhere. That's why I said planning. It is continuous planning. That is why most men and women today, they don't get it. They don't know that it is for better, for worse. In sickness and in health. Till death. Relationship that will lead to marriage is a continuous, it's not a present tense alone, it's not past, it is continuous. So for you to make it work, for it to be standard, because there will always be default. You as the man, you never knew, just as my brother, you never knew the woman before. Even brothers and sisters at home, born by the same father and mother, they quarrel, they fight each other. Brothers break bottle to even want to stab sister. Even twins.
That's more I don't want to call, side,
I don't want to even European now. Even twins fight each other. I don't want to start mentioning names. If twins can fight each other because of money, or because this one married my wife, or you don't like my wife, twins born between maybe seconds or minutes, then who are soulmates or who are lovers or intending husband and wife? There will always be conflicts. But as I said, it is continuous building. When that connection is there, as soon as you get that attraction, the connection is there. You have to, there will always be flaws because you are from different family background. Even if you are from the same state, the same community, you don't know each other before. As I said before, brothers, sisters, cousins, nephews, they quarrel and they resolve. So for that terminology for you to be soul, because when you say soulmate, for you to be one, it is two becoming one. For you to be one now as one body, that means you continue working. When you know your wife or your husband's flaws, your primary aim is to look for a way not to continue doing what will provoke him or her. You know she does not like this. You put in your possible best. Nobody, as I said, nobody is perfect. To make sure you don't provoke her. And she too will do, if she really loves you, not the kind of love we have now. If she really loves you and she's really your soulmate, she's ready to be your partner, just as the Bible and the Quran, everybody indicates. She's ready to be your neck. That means she too must always do things to cover you. That is why you are fighting for your aims and objective. Because you are two collaborating to be one. You are no longer individual. You are Mr. and Mrs. coming as one. Okay. So when you say you are finding your soulmate, it is continuous work. You have to make sure you keep on tuning on the connection. Because if the connection breaks, just as you gave an example, if one of the two is here, remove now, this speaker will go down.
The microphone
You
will
have
go
to,
down.
the microphone will go down. You have to screw it for it
fit
to
it
come
in.
out.
Okay.
So
But
it is true teamwork.
yeah, I would like to ask this question. Like, how did we even get here? Like, in the first place? Because I discovered that many uh, young adults, they feel, as in this generation, like he puts it, they feel like once, like just what you said, that once there is an issue, I mean, you're going out with someone and you discover that maybe you guys are having ups and downs, and
Misunderstanding.
it's really, it means that you guys are not meant for each other. I mean, where did this start from? As in, where is there any perfect relationship somewhere that we don't know of?
No, I think it's a generational issue, because when you look at the previous generations, they actually understood the principles of building a home or building a relationship, But I think over time, due to how society has changed,
Social
and
media.
the advent of technology as well,
Globalization, technology.
people are now used to fast things, fast food. You want to,
Everything they
yeah, you
want it
want to
quick, quick.
read quick, stuff like that. So, and I think the
More
generation is
pursuit.
also not used to stress, and that's why, for the most part, people interpret stress to mean mental issues. Very common things could actually be, mental issues or trauma for other people. So I think the concept of consistency and commitment in relationship is eluding the generation.
Going down.
And so we don't really blame them. It's just each generation always have their own challenges or things that they'll have to battle with, right? So what I think is this. Hopefully it gets better, but what I think is this: in order for even the relationship with a supposedly soulmate to work, right, there's always going to be need to put in the work. Conflict is not stressful. Conflict is a natural outcome of the society. It's part of the society. There would always be conflict everywhere, right? So when you see conflict as a burden, then that's when it becomes a problem. Conflict is not a burden. Conflict are just, one of those means of actually building the bonds. Because it is through the things you fight about that you get to understand each other better. So when you have a fight or when there's a disagreement about something, it's okay for you to want to, sometimes you might just want to switch off. Sometimes it happens. There's some big issues that could lead to switching off, right? But every conflict presents an opportunity for you to learn something about your intending partner and also yourself. And in order for you to build a relationship where you can say, okay, this is my soulmate, it means that over time, and that's why soulmate is not, it's not a momentary stuff. It's not something that happens in a moment. It's something that happens over time. So let's say if you've been married for 20 years now, you can say this person is my soulmate because over time you've been tested. You've gone through challenges, you've overcame those challenges, you've built a union that is now, we would say, an improved version of what you used to have when you started. So soulmate over time is an indication of two people who have been committed to each other in spite of their differences and who chose each other every day in spite of how they felt. Sometimes it's natural for you to fall out of love with people. That's why they always say love is not enough. So in order for you to also have a soulmate or build your partner into the version where you can say this is my soulmate, it means in spite of how you feel, there will be days where you don't feel like speaking to this person. There will be days where you have this quarrel and you don't just want to be around this person. But despite that, you still choose the person. That's what it means by soulmate. So I think the generation needs to understand that there is nothing that would last without endurance, without commitment, continuous commitment.
You don't even want to
Without,
you don't even want to enjoy anything.
that's the
nowadays.
thing. So
Consistency,
if you
just as you said.
always run away from issues when they arise, it actually means that you've
cannot last with
not
the person.
really chosen the person. Choosing someone does not mean everything would always go fine all the time. It never happens. There is no situation in life where everything goes 100% to plan all along. Sometimes things could go wrong. And one of the things about humans is that, we are social beings. And just like sociology would say, we are social beings. And so human beings are unpredictable. Even us, we don't know ourselves so much. We don't know ourselves too well to say things about ourselves with all certainty. And you see, due to environmental changes too, our environment, plays a part into how we interact with people, how we evolve, and all of those things. So as long as those external elements are there, there would always be need for work to be done, right? So I think it's a generational thing. I don't think it's something that would be solved, or that a solution would be gotten immediately. I think it's going to take years, sometimes decades too.
Okay, sorry to cut you short there. And I also think sometimes some people meet a potential soulmate in quotes, but probably they were not emotionally ready at that time. It's possible, right? It's possible.
Yeah.
It goes
You want to
there.
say- you want to say
Yes,
something?
exactly. Just as I said, consistency matters because you are building. And to just go back to the question you asked before, it is, for me, if you follow it logically, and you ask many psychologists, it is the fault of most of our parents. Those days, you see the way the 60s, 50s, 70s, even down to the early 2020s, parents have ways of scolding their children. They have ways of communicating with the children. That connection, that vibe is there. If your parents, especially my dad, if they look at you, you know this thing is right and this thing is wrong. But the generation we are today, due to globalization, due to social media technology, just as you said, now everything have gone gaga. You see men now trying to tell them they want to be associated with men. Women is following. I'm not trying to play down on LGBT. You understand me now.
Yeah.
So now we are now in a different world. That's why I said the reason why people are saying this person is my soulmate, and along the line it did not work, is because some men and women are entitled. They are greedy. They are greedy. They
Greedy
never,
what attitude?
very good, sir. They came into the life of that man or woman just because they were targeting something. And as soon as they discover that thing they are looking for is not going according to the way they plan, they zoom off. And then they will not say, okay, it's a God that did not. People always blame Satan, and sometimes I only wonder how Satan survive. Because any little thing, someone will cheat directly knowing it. Someone is leaving La Défense. Now you are leaving Paris, or you are leaving Germany, you are leaving Spain to go to US to cheat. You took flights, you pay for the ticket, you went and cheat. And then when you are caught, if you are not caught, it is God. But when you are caught now, you say it's devil. Was devil the one that paid for your tickets? People accumulate things to sin. Just as people are calling the blood of Jesus. If blood of Jesus was liters, it would have finished.
Okay, sir.
So they will always look for who to blame.
Who to blame? Okay, let me quickly remind our lovely subscribers, lovely subscribers out there, like I always say, please like and share, and also follow the program. And please, I want you to share this program, share this podcast, so that many other lovely people like you can also watch and learn a lot from this. Thank you very much. So back to you, sir. What about the place? The place, actually, for example, because some people have this notion of saying, in the church, you can meet good wife, good soulmate in the church, not outside, not on the streets,
That was those
not
days,
What's your take on this?
Well, I think the best thing or the best way to go about it is not to fix your mind on which exact place has the best set of people, right? Which environment has the best set of people. I believe you can find your wife anywhere, but it also depends on the kind of person you are. So, for instance, if I'm sick now, where do I need to go find a doctor? In the hospital, right? So it means that as an individual, you must understand yourself, you must know what you want, and then you must now also know what you desire in your partner. And so that would give you some form of clarity on possibly a place or the kind of environment you could potentially meet that person. However, it's not limited to that place. So, for instance, yeah, I know if you're trying to marry a Christian, you would always meet Christians in the church. But now it's left for you to filter the kind of Christian that the person is. If you're attracted to a sister in the church, it does not mean that the people you see in church are 100% okay, right? There's a possibility you might not even meet your soulmate in the church. You might meet your soulmate on the street. You might meet them as
Very
neighbors
possible.
in class, right?
Very, very possible.
Yeah. So it all depends on what you want. What you want would define, the means by which you go about it. So for me, I would say do not fix your mind on a certain kind of place to find your wife. Be open-minded. What's most important is that when you find someone you're attracted to, you already have in mind the ideals, the kind of principles you want the person to have. And so whether you meet the person in a classroom or your classmate, or you meet the person on the street, or you meet the person through a friend, through your desires, you can filter the potentials in the person. So for me, I would say don't put your mind in any particular place. Just be open-minded. You would meet people everywhere. You can meet the devil in the church. You can meet an angel
Yes.
on the street. So just be open-minded, and definitely if you know what you're looking for, you would always find it, right? For instance, as we are all here now, if I'm looking for a book, I know the book is here. So in spite of how many things are here, I know exactly where to go get it. So it's usually the same principle that applies to life. When you know the kind of person you're looking for, you would always, in spite of how chaotic the environment might be, if you pay attention close enough, you would be able to distinguish the person that you're looking for.
When you made mention of you might possibly meet the devil in the church as well. You said yes, exactly. Can you elaborate more on that?
The
Because
church,
yes, exactly. Was
exactly.
very
The church is like the hospital.
yes, of course.
Many people come in and go, good and bad people. You don't see every man or woman in the church and you believe they are believers.
Yeah.
They come there to receive Christ and then to believe in God answering their prayers.
Some are
So
responding to
many
treatment.
are even
Some are not.
Exactly.
Many
Some
are
are
sick.
responding to
So don't believe. So that's why that's the definition of you getting your soulmate in the church. That is quote unquote.
Something
It is
they
your
collect
mindset.
drip, something they collect
Yes. So those came out from Socratic, and then they came in. So you don't just as you say your mindset. You need to know if you are attracted to that brother or that sister. Then you need to know if you are connected. It's the connectivity. Because if that connection is not there, something will be elapsing. Because in life, sometimes you grow into outgrown things. You may fall in love in a particular brother now or a sister, and after maybe a few months or years you are together, one or two things will come. You can go through one and you start trying to see why you don't like him or her. But as far as you keep on connecting, because just as I said before, when it comes to relationship, it takes two for it to work. Because if a woman fall out of love for you, because some women, their feeling and their intention is different from the way man thinks. A woman can smile with you now, and the next twinkling of an eye, she's frowning. You must want to know why she is frowning or what is provoking her for peace to reign. And some men also do that, because I'm not coming for one particular gender. So if you don't dedicate yourself for each other, there will be a problem. Just as you're asking that question, you need to know what you cherish and love. or what you saw in him or her for it to grow. When you discover that thing is not growing well, you look for a way to amend it for peace to be.
Okay.
Because if there is no unity and if there is no peace in that house, there'll be a problem.
Okay.
That is why communication and planning goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
You want to say something?
Yeah, but I think usually I would say be careful about connections.
Okay.
You could be connected to the wrong place or to the wrong person. And you know, like I said, I think this is one of the reasons why marriages in the olden days lasted longer. They were not seeking connection first. They were seeking to know the person. Because the truth is, you would always love a kind person. You would always love a respectful person. You would always love someone who cares about you, someone who is genuine. You
Then they
always,
had culture, norms, and
So-
everything is there.
Yeah,
Carry
so-
yourself. Now, no culture,
so the
no
truth
norms.
is-
Everything don't buy.
Yeah.
I feel what we have is a reverse of what we used to have.
Exactly.
So people are building relationships on just emotions rather than on the substance, right? So back in the day, the families would do their research about this particular person. They'll get to know the character,
From one family to another.
the family name, the kind of family, and then they will now, bring you both together. And back in the day, sometimes you may not even know your wife until a few days to the marriage. And so what happens is they both learn to love each other. So which means if someone is from a good background, well-cultured, respectful, kind, shows care, and all of those very, very good complementary natures, there's a tendency that you would always love such a person. And then you would learn to connect. But something with connection is that the connection comes, sometimes it also goes, right? So over time, that's why it's important that if you are to make decisions based on how you feel all the time, then you might not have anything that would last. You have to make decisions based on substance, not based on emotions, right? Because emotions are a result of how your brain interprets things to you. So when you meet someone that you have a bond with or someone you, like they say, you falling madly in love with, supposedly, right? There is how the brain interprets it, and the brain secretes what's called dopamine. So, and when these chemicals are involved, right, it kinds of limits clarity. So you would think this is the
blind.
real deal, yeah.
You don't know you are following the wrong way.
So which is why it's always good to be very careful about connections to people. Ensure that no matter how connected you are to somebody, you are also open enough and so conscious enough about the kind of person that individual is.
Okay.
So I think that's just what I wanted to add. Connections could be deceiving.
Could be deceivable.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, as a Christian, for example, what do you think is the criteria of meeting someone that can potentially be a soulmate?
The criteria for meeting someone as a Christian.
Yeah. Like, what are the criteria? I was like, for example, must he be a Christian?
Yeah.
Must he be a churchgoer? Must he be all
God-fearing is number one.
Firebrand,
Yeah.
all these. Some people will pray for God-fearing person. They will finally get the person
And discover
and
it's
discover
devil-fearing.
this one is a prayer warrior person, midnight every time.
Yeah.
Shouting, praying. Meanwhile,
No
you want to
intimacy,
see
nothing.
So, please, what can you say to this?
Okay, if I may say first, I feel as a Christian, the indicator of a Christian partner is how visible the fruit of the Spirit are. The fruit of the Spirit, right? There's something about the fruit of the Spirit. It does not hide, right?
No matter you fake
It does not hide. So I think as Christians, you should look out for the fruit of the Spirit in somebody. Although I feel it depends on people's background. There are people who pray a lot who might also be looking for
their
people.
fruit, you shall know them.
Exactly. So, in fact, I think the basic the basic notion for a Christian marriage is that you have to be with someone who is God-fearing. That's the basic. You have to be a believer. Both of you have to be believers, right? You have to be Christian. The Bible says, do not be unequally yoked, right?
Unbelievers.
So you have to be a believer. And so you share the same principle, a scriptural principle, the same, biblical principles, right? And then the next step would be, personally, when it comes to prayer, the most important thing is that you pray, right? It does not matter how long you pray. For some people, it matters, but for others, it may not matter, right? For some people, it matters that you read your Bible. For others, even though you read once in a while, but at least, you are studying the word, from time to time. For others, that's enough. So I think it also depends on what the person wants and the kind of person. I think it's also the kind of church you grew up in. Someone who grows up in, let's say, like Mountain of Fire or Deeper Life would have different desires in a partner. And someone who grew up in, let's say, Christ Embassy or Redeem would have a different version of the kind of Christian, partner they want. So everything is still valid, but I think for me, the most important thing is that let there be the presence of the fruit of the Spirit. The fruit of the Spirit to me is what shows that someone has the Holy Spirit in them. It's not by speaking in tongues. It's not by how long you pray and stuff. You can be doing all of that, but if you do not have the fruit of the Spirit in you, it's dangerous. It's already a red light that shows that you potentially may not have the Holy Spirit. Because when the Holy Spirit is in you, it would be reflected by those fruits, right? So it comes in you and then begins to work in. That's what the Bible talks about, the transformation. When you become a Christian, you become transformed. And the Bible talks also about the renewing of the mind. When you become a Christian, the Spirit, helps you work on renewing your mind, helps you transform yourself, right? And so the indicator, for me, I think this is the surest way to know. The surest way to know that someone is truly a Christian are those indications of the fruit of the Spirit, because they would always be visible and they don't lie.
Especially when there is supposed to be an issue, there's because of the fruit of the Spirit in you.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll be able to,
meekness, kindness.
You'll be able to solve the issue without
exactly,
escalating
exactly,
to something else.
Yeah.
Okay, just to round up, you want to what's your last thought for
just as you said,
someone who is looking for his or her soulmate?
Just as you said, it's the fruit of the Spirit. As far as that brother or sister is God-fearing, is meek, he's not 100% compulsory. You must pray. Because just as you said, some people can pray for 23 hours, but from their behavior, they are demonical. When they get home, they do terrible things. They don't even respect. As far as he or she have that fruit of the Spirit, is meek, he's patient, he endure, he's kind.
Endurance, yeah.
And he have that faith, because that same faith you believe, respecting and believing the Holy Spirit, there is room for both of you to move together. Because even if there is no way there will not be stumbling block. But when both of you have that fruit of the Spirit, you look for ways to resolve any conflict coming in. It will definitely come in. That's why, as I said before, it takes two. Because he said it's soulmates. As soon as you discover that man or that woman you married is not deviating, you look for every way to bring him or her together. But when you discover that person don't want to come back, my brother, don't kill yourself. It's better you give space. I'm not saying you should divorce, because it's better. It's not a topic we are discussing. It's better you give space than to go and stand, and before you know it, you hear, those days only men buying women. Now women are buying men are buying women. It will never be a portion. But we just need to know.
Well, it's just that
you need to know.
We actually want to just know, as in how to, know all these things to be maritally correct, so that we won't have to go through all this.
Right.
So 1 minute. Can you please, if you want to say something to round up?
Yeah, so I think one counsel I would always give is while you are seeking for those who probably are not in a relationship, while you are hoping to find the right person, in fact, I don't even think you might always find the right person. Sometimes when you have key things you're looking for, even if they don't tick 100% of the boxes, one of the things a friend of mine told me is, as long as your partner is willing to work on themselves, then you would always have, a successful relationship with that person. So as individuals, one of the things I would always encourage is be open to listening to your partner, be open to adjusting, be open to criticisms about yourself, because one of the best way to know yourself is through the eyes of others. You might be doing things and you may not know that what you're doing is wrong. And so it is through the lenses of others that we see ourselves truly. And so when your partner says you're doing something, believe that you're doing it. Even if you don't want to accept it at the moment, just reflect. Most times, in order for us to grow, there must be some form of reflection, right? So reflection, would lead to awareness. And when you're aware of something, until you're aware of something, you will not find the need to change those things.
That's true.
And so it is important that we are open. It is important that we embody the things that we desire in our partners as well. Because sometimes the people you might be, or the kind of partner you might want to have, you may not actually have been developed to a point where you are able to maintain that partner. Right? You want a partner that is God-fearing. Are you God-fearing? You want a partner with integrity. Do you have integrity? You want a partner who is respectful. Are you respectful? You want a partner who is forgiving. Are you forgiving? You want a partner who is patient. Are you patient? So when we begin to answer some of these questions, you see, I think you will be less critical of people, right? Because you also are working on yourself, and for the fact that another person is working on his or herself does not mean that both of you cannot come together and both help each other grow. And I think that's one of the essence of relationship. Relationship is all about helping each other grow in order to fulfill a mission, right? And so that's what I would just say. Do not easily give up on people. I think one of the fruit of the spirit, long suffering, endurance, love is patience, love is kind. You have to be quick to forgive.
1 Corinthians 15.
Yeah, you have to work on your anger issues, right? You need to be very slow to anger, but very quick to forgive. So when we forgive people easily, things get better. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And to add more to what he has said, he has almost said it all.
Yeah.
You have to work on each other's goals. Don't say because if your soulmate is the breadwinner, don't say because she's a woman, you are the man. God gave you her for a particular purpose. You have to work for that goal. Because if you say because she's bringing 80% and you are bringing 20%, then you now want to bring yourself so low to be doing the chores alone at home, washing the plate, taking the kids to school. You're not doing anything. The day you go enter ahead, the whole world go know say na she they feed you, they pay your bills. So you have to support her goals. And the same thing goes to the woman. You have to support each other, complement each other.
Yeah.
It goes a long way.
Okay.
When you know she's going down, your primary aim is your aim, you are team. These are what men and women don't know, especially those. You are teammates. It takes two to tango. So when you discover, just as he has said, nobody is perfect. You know your flaws. When he or she tells you what you are doing is not good, you reflect about it. You pray over it, and then you watch, and then you know what and what to do to cover.
Yeah,
so you continuous working. It's continuous planning. You don't stop.
Yeah.
The day you stop, that is where there will be question tag. There will be crack in that relationship that will lead to marriage. But the more you keep working, the more you keep building, the more you keep understanding, a time will come, you look like brothers and sisters. They will no longer call you couples. You will even start looking alike because you work together. Whenever there is flaws, whenever there is, you try to look for a way to complement. Not that she does something, you start abusing her. He does something, you start abusing him. When that abuse, that is where you see penetration of crime coming in. Conflict may arise. So it is teamwork, it is consistency, it is continuous. You don't lose hope. You work together, you pray over it, physically, spiritually, psychologically, and otherwise.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
You're correct. Both of you are correct. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming.